Hello, it's the Daily Rant with Cliff. Sorry I've been gone a few days. I wanted to talk to people about marijuana. This is not a gateway drug. In the past, people called it a gateway drug. I'm going to explain to you why right now. Back in the day when you were going out to buy weed, you didn't go to a store that only sold marijuana products. You went to some guy's house, and you never know what he sold. He could sell LSD, he could sell methamphetamine, he could sell cocaine, heroin, and marijuana. Now, when you'd go to his house to get your marijuana, he might give you a little sample of some meth, or a little sample of whatever to get you to try that. Now, when you try that, you might get addicted to that, and you come back to him, instead of buying weed, this time you're buying some crack, or you're buying some heroin, making him a lot more money than the little bit of weed he was selling. And that is how marijuana possibly could have been a gateway drug at one time. And that all had to do with prohibition of marijuana, too. If you live in a state that isn't like California where weed is legal, I can grow my own pot. I can have 6 plants growing at my house, and no one's going to do anything about it. It's not illegal at all. I can smoke all the weed I want. No one's going to come bothering me. You know, if someone was to come to my house looking for weed and I decided to give them weed, I wouldn't be pushing some other drug on them, or I wouldn't even be pushing weed on them. Fuck. That's your choice. If you want to smoke pot or not, that's your fucking deal. Not mine. It's not my choice. I don't drink alcohol. I don't smoke tobacco anymore. I just smoke weed. You know, so to each their own. Anyway, I don't really give a shit. I do think alcohol is a real problem, and I do think instead of them continuing to tax tobacco every couple years or every year or so, they should start to re-tax alcohol. You know, they haven't taxed alcohol since 1984. They haven't raised taxes at all. That's like 31, 32, it's like 34 years. And there's been no added taxes to alcohol in California. But tobacco gets it every couple of years. They just raised tobacco $2 and they're going to raise it again. But that's neither here nor there either. Back to weed. This is why I usually have notes, because I get off track. The thing here is, weed is not a gateway drug in legalized states because you don't have to go to somebody's house that sells other drugs. If you don't send people to somebody's house that's selling all this other shit besides weed, then you don't have the problem of people trying the other drug. When I was growing up, the guy I used to buy weed off of, he sold meth and crack also. You could buy all three of them. I have one of my friends that took the little crack, sample and got hooked. That guy can't keep out of prison now. He's a fucking crackhead. Now, that was the weed man. It's kind of my fault that he became a crackhead, because I took him with me over to that dude's house to get weed. I feel bad about that, but it ain't my fault that I didn't make that choice for him to start smoking crack. He chose to take that sample from that dude. He chose to put that shit in a pipe and smoke it. Every time that guy offered me some crack or some meth to try, I told him no, because I don't fuck with that shit. I've seen what happens to meth heads. I had an older brother that was on dope for a long time. He did fucked up shit while he was on dope. I'm good. I need none of that shit in my life. I'm just talking real. Everybody have a good day. That's a Daily Rant with Cliff, and they'll be coming daily again. I just had to take care of some stuff for a few days. Like...